again, I think you're calling attention to issues and saying, we want to see a change. This is something that's really important to us. We're here to serve our communities. Well, we want things to happen in the future. It's not that, if you're not getting information, I mean, obviously you have an insight, you happen to be there, they explain something to you. But my sense is that this is Modesto, and we don't have connections between, CTE deans and vice presidents and presidents, then there's an issue. I know that there's some connections. I just don't know how extensive those are.
Or how effective they are.
And how effective they are.
Right.
But I can tell you, as a president, as a vice president, those are the things that I did first whenever I came, is to make sure I met with all the major, business folks and then connected them with the appropriate people. If that's not happening, we need to, and faculty. The faculty leads in those programs, I don't know if you have a strong welding program. I mean, that's a really strong program, and that can lead to degrees in machine tool.
Oh, sure.
But I don't even know if we have a machine tool. I don't know if there's any industry in this area. That's something that
Well, we should probably move on because we've got.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
But this is
It's good.
refreshing. I love having the time to do it. So I think these sessions are important.
Okay, so we talked about, second to the last paragraph, the fiscal integrity. Can we go to the bottom paragraph? The governing board should set policies that hold all leaders and constituency accountable for performance. For example, such accountability would include faculty for work on data-driven program review, faculty and others responsible for SLOs and assessment, the chief financial officer for sound fiscal management, and the board itself for avoiding fiscal or policy commitments that could jeopardize institutional effectiveness, integrity, or stability. It's really critical. The governing board is expected to engage in professional development activities to improve its capacity for high performance in the conduct of its own work. And I think you guys, there's perfect examples. These study sessions, the next weekend, going to the board training that they have. And John. Yes. Yeah, all the new board members are going in that. That's great. Accreditation standard 4C defines expectations for the roles and responsibilities of governing boards. The governing board has authority over and responsibility for policies to assure the academic quality, integrity, and effectiveness of the student learning programs, so all the academic programs, and services, and the financial stability of the institution. The primary role of the governing board is policy leadership, and the primary responsibility of the board is to create the policy environment that supports educational effectiveness. So you're right, policies are really critical, and that might be something we want to take a look at together. The board holds the CEO and, as appropriate, other leaders and constituencies responsible for organizing and implementing the processes that accomplish mission. The accountability is manifested through board policies that request information and data on institutional performance. Through policies, the board should ask the institution to establish key metrics or measures by which the institution can assess and demonstrate to the board and to the public achievement of its mission. I copied here when they talk about standard 4C. I've got copies here for you guys of, and I'm sorry, I didn't make any enough for everybody.
Okay.
Do you mind looking on? Sharing. It's just 2 pages. Let's see if I can. Oh, I don't have that one here. I don't have that document here. So, okay. Does everybody have one they can look on with here? We'll get you a copy.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get you a copy. All right. So, the institution has a governing board that has authority over and responsibility for policies to assure the academic quality, integrity, and effectiveness of the student learning programs and services and the financial stability of the institution. So at the heart is the programs, the services, and the stability. The governing board acts as a collective entity. Once the board reaches a decision, all board members act in support of the decision. The governing board adheres to a clearly defined policy for selecting and evaluating the CEO of the college and/or the district system. So one of the things, Ann, you asked about is if we could do an evaluation. And I don't,
That's one of my suggestions.
good, okay, that's great. And then, and/or the district or the system. So that's something that we can, what are those things, those metrics that you need so that you can make sure that the policies are being implemented correctly or successfully. The governing board is an independent policy-making body that reflects the public interest in the institution's educational quality. It advocates for and defends the institution and protects it from undue influence or political pressure.
But it says it's independent.
Okay. The independent policy, well, it's not, you're not connected to any political party. You're not connected to, local boards are independent. Like the UCs have a board that's connected to the system. You are connected to this institution. Okay, you're not a political body. You're not a religious body. You're not, okay, so it's independent of all those other. Okay, let's see, which one are we on? Number 5. The governing board establishes policies consistent with the college district system mission to ensure the quality and integrity and improvement of student learning programs and services and the resources necessary to support them. The governing board has ultimate responsibility for educational quality, legal matters, and financial integrity and stability, which is why, closed session is often litigation, because there's often things that are going on we need to know about. And I think you need to hold me responsible, I need to hold presidents responsible, for integrity of what's going on. And so, it's hiring good people, it's supporting them, it's evaluating them. That's a big, big part. Number 6, the institution or the governing board publishes the board bylaws and policies specifying the board's size, duties, responsibilities, structure, and operating. That's really easy for them to know. Board bylaws? We have bylaws, don't we?
Board bylaws?
Yeah.
I would say that in our policies, we specify the board size, duties, responsibilities,
Okay.
structure, and operating.
Yes,
That's
that's
fine.
it.
That would be it
Board
then.
policy.
Yeah, they'll look through all of our documents.
Yeah,
They
we have those in
Yeah.
our policies, but.
That's pretty clear, either you have them or you don't. Yeah. Number 8, to ensure the institution is accomplishing its goals for student success, the governing board regularly reviews key indicators of student learning and achievement and institutional plans for improving academic quality. So again, it's deciding what, finding out what they have, and if it's not something that's providing the information you need, what else is it that the institution or the programs need to provide? Number 9, the governing board has an ongoing training program for board development, including new member orientation. You guys have new member orientation, right? It has a mechanism for providing for continuity of board membership and staggered terms of office. You have that. Number 10, board policies and or bylaws clearly establish a process for board evaluation. You guys have a form for board evaluation?
We have a policy on board evaluation that states when it occurs in August.
Is there like a, you have like a,
We have a form that we've used many times. It's actually not attached to our policies, but we do have it.
Okay.
Do we evaluate ourselves? or-
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, it's self-evaluation.
We don't have it.
Because, yeah. Again, and you can get input from your constituencies if you want, but generally it's a board self-evaluation. Because ultimately, you are the governing board of the institution.
2745 is.
I mean, I do have self-evaluation.
And then it's all tallied down and sent back to all of you. It's anonymous. And then you all have a meeting to discuss.
It shows areas that we think we're strong in, areas that we improve in. And then we have, those are really like 1 through 4. And then it has a section for just comments.
I mean, one of the things I can do, if you're interested, is ask some other institutions to send copies of their evaluation forms, and you can review and see if you want to change it. Yeah. Sure. Number 11, the governing board upholds a code of ethics and conflict of interest policy, and individual board members adhere to the code. The board has a clearly defined policy for dealing with behavior that violates its code and implements it when necessary. A majority of the board members have no employment, family, ownership, or other personal financial interest in the institution. Board members' interests are disclosed and do not interfere with the impartiality of governing board members or outweigh the greater duty to secure and ensure the academic and fiscal integrity of the institution. 12, the governing board delegates full responsibility and authority to the CEO to implement and administer board policies without board interference, and holds the CEO accountable for the operation of the district system or college respectively. So because we're a multi-college district, it's, and then the president's report to the chancellor. This is a tough one for a lot of board members. It is, because it's kind of goes again. I mean, you became board members because you care deeply, but your role is pretty, it really is policy and holding the institution and accountable.
Well, it gets frustrating when you really can't have any input into the policies because they're all dictated by the law.
I know, code, ed code,
Yeah.
and I know
So
it's
there's a frustration.
prescribed, yeah. Yeah, I understand. I do understand.
Well, when it says something holds the CEO accountable for the operation, how do you hold them accountable?
Well, I have the thing here for the CEO role too. I made copies
Fire
here,
them
but
if you don't have.
Well, I mean, but is
No,
there any
seriously.
interim kind of,
you do a regular, if, for example, you've asked for information and that information is not forthcoming,
that's good.
that's very clear cut. If you, have made clear that you want to get certain reports and that's not happening, that's holding somebody accountable. If you feel like you are not giving accurate information, then, but again, it's that relationship that's so important. I can tell you that, any chancellor that comes is going to be looking at the relationship between the board and the chancellor, because nobody wants to come to a place where people are going to immediately not trust them. I mean, you've got to start